This is a federal record center, part of the National Archives and Records Administration. We store records for agencies of the federal government.
We have record centers around the country. We are the single largest provider to the federal workforce.
It is cheaper to store records with us than it is in their office environment.
The Federal Record Centers have a commitment to help federal agencies manage those records, regardless of what media they're created on.
Because we are government, our federal customers look to us for that expertise.
It's definitely easy to do business with the record centers. We help you and your agency with records management solutions.
Their staff members seem to be eager to help and to educate in the way of records. You can't beat the customer service with Federal Record Center.
Federal agencies generate thousands of paper and electronic records each day. These records and their accessibility are critical to the business of government. Over time, systems and technologies evolve, but one thing remains constant: the need for secure storage and management of records, which represent our nation's history.
We are the custodians of the nation's history at the National Archives. What better place for organizations, for agencies and departments in the federal government to come for advice on how to manage their records than working with the Federal Record Centers.
The federal record centers date back to the 1950s when they were first established. And since that point, the centers have grown to now comprising more than 17 centers around the country. We have record centers in the Washington, D.C. area and record centers in each of our regions around the United States.
Today, the Federal Record Centers, known as FRCs, help U.S. agencies manage their workloads through secure and cost-effective fee-for-service storage of these temporary records. Each of NARA's Federal Record Centers has unique capabilities to serve your storage and retrieval needs. Our centers feature award-winning designs and, in many cases, unmatched capacity. In total, we house more than 25 million boxes of records, some as deep as 80 feet underground.
These are limestone mines. It's good to have facilities located underground because there's a natural climate control down here.
We're in what we call Ice Cube. It's actually a cold storage for films of the National Archives. And this is the proper temperature to store film in.
Unique among the centers is the National Personnel Record Center, NPRC, which is one of NARA's largest operations. Items in NPRC's care include those of everyday heroes, both military and civilian, as well as personnel records of the famous and the infamous. Many FRCs have special services for federal customers, from help with transfers to rapid servicing of reference requests, to proper disposition of records, and a suite of services in between.
Many regions do have Metro Courier service, where you're basically getting door-to-door delivery of records. We will do a fast pack, which is we will go in and assist agencies with packing their records up for transfer to the record center and actually prepare the Standard Form 135, which is the transfer document. So it's basically a shelf-to-shelf delivery of records.
We're also offering records sent back by email, and we call that service Smart Scan. We'll actually go in and scan these files for our customers, and instead of having to fax those records back or send them back by mail, digitize those records and send them back by email.
When federal records are needed, their importance can be critical. The FRCs specialize in fast, efficient records retrieval, handling 13 million reference requests per year. That's 6,000 requests fulfilled per hour.
To make sure our customers are satisfied, we make sure that we get those documents in a 24-hour turnaround.
Interagency agreements make dealing with the FRCs easy for federal agencies. We also help with the planning process.
Most of the time what the agency is looking for is some type of statistical report, what their agencies have been doing over the years. So I can provide them with their storage 5 to 10 years back so they can determine their budget needs.
Federal records are the FRC's only business. We serve over 400 federal agencies, from the largest cabinet-level departments to the smallest federal offices. No one knows the records management needs of your agency better than NARA. Our customers include the IRS, U.S. Courts, OPM, Social Security Administration, and the Departments of Defense, Veterans Affairs, Housing and Urban Development, and Justice, to name a few. They depend on the FRCs to help with every stage of the record's life cycle.
At the end of the useful life, those records are either destroyed, and the vast majority are destroyed, or about maybe 3 to 4% will be then appraised as permanent and then accessioned into the National Archives.
The Federal Record Centers provide the customers with a one-stop shopping place. And because we're federal, we have a vested interest in their records as much as they do, because our mission is to protect and preserve those records.
We also offer training to federal agencies on records management and new services for electronic records.
Technology is a tool, just like quill and parchment was back in the day. And we are capturing history right this moment. And if we can protect it and make sure it endures, the idea that centuries from now others will be looking at that information with the same reverence that we look at those parchment documents is really exciting to me.
Agencies have long trusted us for management of inactive records. We can also store active records, freeing your agency staff to focus on mission-critical work.
I think agencies like knowing that NARA is also watching over their shoulder and looking at the records control schedule and actually serving as an expert on their behalf.
Based on federal regulations, some records are saved for a few years while others are kept for 75 years or more. When your records have reached the end of their life cycle, the FRCs notify your agency. We then properly dispose of your agency's records. Each year we recycle 18,000 tons of paper records, which saves the equivalent of more than 250,000 trees. Secure storage of your agency's most sensitive records is an FRC priority. With classified storage facilities, vaults for a variety of specific sensitive records, and FRC employees with high security clearances and extensive background checks, you can trust that your agency's classified materials are in the best of care.
All of our facilities fully meet the federal regulations, and the centers have the highest level of security to protect records.
As for the bottom line, for many agencies, storing records presents an expensive logistical dilemma. Records take up valuable office space. Storing records in prime office space can cost up to 10 times as much as it would at a federal records center. And so, on average, we save agencies nearly $1.5 million per day compared to storage in office space. When it comes to federal record storage, make the secure choice. Trust the Federal Record Centers of the National Archives and Records Administration to help your agency every step of the way.
Everybody that works in the record centers brings that passion and that pride to their work. I mean, we know that we're doing it for a greater cause.
What I love most about my job is talking one-on-one with many of our customers and assisting our customers.
The FRC actually has the highest level of customer service, in my opinion. From the drivers to the appraisal archivist to the account representative. And the cost effectiveness, that's the best.
Our customers are in good hands.
Passport Services is very pleased with the services we have here, and we are certainly very happy customers.
We talk with customers to learn what are their business needs and then develop top-flight services. So we are confident in protecting the information assets of the federal government.